Morning.
Morning.
I was talking to you both and I was muted.
Ah,
Yeah,
Can you
good
hear me
morning,
both?
James. Good morning, Dorette.
morning.
Morning.
How are you both?
Yeah?
Yeah,
Good.
still a bit of a cold, but
I'll be with you in 1 second. Hello?
Can you hear us? Yeah.
Right, okay. We'll just give it 30 more seconds and then we'll start. Where are you, James?
Can you see us?
Yeah, we can see
Yeah.
you.
Can you hear us? No, because I don't know if I've got the thing. It's because
Yeah,
I'm in this little room and it's like, sorry, my screen's not as good as what.
that's all right. We can hear you. We can see you.
Yeah. Sorry about the last couple of times. It's just that I've had plenty of groups on. I thought so I
Don't
could get
worry
on.
about it. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. All right, so it's 10 o'clock. I'll read today's pre-recording consent. Before we begin recording, I'm afraid we already are recording, so I just want to make sure there's a recording of me reading the consent. I want to make sure everyone is aware and comfortable. This session is being streamed and recorded as part of UACT's LERO's mission to build recovery capital and challenge stigma. Your personal safety and comfort come first. If at any time you would like your contribution or the recording deleted, please say so and it will be removed without question. Please remember, take personal responsibility for what you share. This is an adult learning environment, not therapy, mutual aid, or a faith-based organization. If you're happy to proceed, please give a verbal consent, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
or use the chat to confirm your consent to the reordering. Thank you. Okay, good morning, Andrew.
Morning, David. How are you?
I'm good. I didn't see you sneak in there. That's good.
Good.
That's good.
Yeah, sorry, this last couple of weeks I was on leave moving house. So
That's all
yeah,
right. That's all right. Do you want to start the check-in?
yeah, can do. Yeah, I'm similar to Direct mentioned. I've got a bit of a cold myself, so I've just got over that. But yeah, just moved house, feel a bit frantic and bits, but overall went well, and I'm feeling positive and happy. Yeah, and I'll pass it over to Direct.
Thank you. Good morning, all. I'm also checking in. It's still a little bit of a cold, but otherwise positive and looking forward for this hour. And I tag James.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm checking in fine. It's the same as everybody else. Yeah, just weather and that. It's snotty nose, cough. But yeah, doing good. And I'll pass it over to David.
So I'm checking and feeling good. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this morning session. I need to cancel this afternoon session or have somebody else take it, but I'll have to let them know this afternoon. So I've got that anxiety going on. It's like, oh God, the chaos. But anyway, and I'll tag David there.
Hi, good morning, everybody from sunny Cape Town. Nice and warm here, 30 degrees. Yeah, a little bit anxious always at coming onto our weekly meetings, but otherwise good. Thank you. Megan.
Hi, yeah, I'm good. Sorry, I was a couple of minutes late. I'm feeling good. I just started some annual leave from work today, so I've got the next 11 days of doing nothing, which I'm looking very much forward to. But other than that, yeah, I'm good. And has Andrew been? Sorry, I'm a bit late. So is that everyone then?
Everyone.
That's everyone.
Okay.
It's my favorite fan is here. Oh, I love
Please
it.
forget I said that.
Oh, are you mad? I'm never going to forget that. That's like my kids saying, "Oh, Dad, I'm so proud of you. I love you so much." That's a top shelf comment, love. I'm not gonna give that one up. And I mean that. I was very, very grateful that you blessed me with that. Yeah. Olivia, would you like to check in?
Good morning.
There
I'm
she is. The
I am
camera's
there.
coming in.
Didn't realise that. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, busy, but I'm good. All this information is just like, wow. Every day, David, you put something new up.
Yeah, no, I'm intense, huh?
Yeah.
I'm intense. All right, so let's talk about that today. Let's talk about information. Let's talk about adult learning. And let's talk about how we can unintentionally impact people with our enthusiasm. Yep, and knowledge. Yeah. So, for example, Megan arrived here. She arrived 4 minutes late, and she started off by saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry I'm late. I'm so sorry I'm late." Yeah. What I want to say to Megan is, my God, you're on holiday and you've made a choice to come here. That is fantastic. Thank you so much for giving of your time to come here and learn about this stuff. Yep, really, really appreciate it. Yeah. And then Olivia, what I want to say is one of my shortcomings, yep, is I have a high anxiety because I want to be seen as doing good and that this is professional. Yep. And as a result of that, I overcompensate and I create content, I deliver stuff, I send links, and I try and make things easier for people. But the downside of it is I actually overwhelm people with online content here, and here's a video here, and go to this TikTok there, and here's another link to sign up to this, and unintentionally I impact people around that. So think what it's like for somebody that's coming into your organization, yep, or your service, how they must feel. Yeah. And I've recently had to make use of the system myself, universal credit and all that sort of stuff. It is so overwhelming. The acronyms, the PIP stuff, and this form and that form and this and that. It's incredibly overwhelming. And I consider myself to be quite efficient with IT stuff. Yep, so I know how to open an email, go to a website, log on, get a password, to get an authentication code, to re-enter it into the website, to flip between screens and that. But it becomes overwhelming for people. Yep. So I want to acknowledge I add to the overwhelm. And I want to reassure people, don't worry. Yep, you don't need to know anything. Just rock up at the training, and that's all you need to do, is just to arrive to the location, and then we build things from there. Yeah. So here comes my weekly room check. So I'm going to leave you for 5 minutes. Davide, hold the container, just to throw you in the deep end. You see, that's what happens when you stay in a hot country and it's summer. Fuck you, suffer.
Hi guys. Yeah, it's a bit warm here. Container. All right, this is my first go. How's everybody? Everybody good?
Yeah.
Yeah, overwhelmed. I think I'm one of those that gets overwhelmed, I would say overexcited. Well, not excited, but more on the anxious side, especially if when a new client comes in, because like David says, maybe I'm over enthusiastic, and just by being too much over enthusiastic, I might just scare the client away because he's wondering why is this guy so full of energy, and he's coming in. He's obviously feeling a bit down in that maybe he's a bit afraid. But where I'm coming from is I always want to be on the positive side, show positive energy. So anybody that comes in, this can be done. You've got this. Let's do it. And sometimes it scares somebody. So I don't know, Andrew, what's your take? From my side, I'm always like, we can do this. I've done it, so I always look at myself, and it's a difficult process. But yeah, sometimes I think maybe I frighten somebody. What's your take, Andrew?
Yeah, everyone's different, aren't they? And it depends on the individual. Some people like getting all the information together at once and having it all there. Some people like doing it in stages. My last job I had, we had that problem where people were coming into the service, they're being contacted by the clinical lead, they're being contacted by the peer support, by everyone around them, getting pinged text messages left, right, and centre. And we had to sort of recognise, rein it in a little bit just to make it a bit more structured for most people. But some people like having that support, and I guess it's working with them at where they're at that point. We're never going to get it right all the time, are we? That's something that we've got to accept and understand. But it's learning, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know the answer. There probably isn't an answer to fit, is there? And for me, it's just trying to find out where they're at. I guess it's my suggestion, but I don't know if anyone's got any kind of experience around.
Let me jump in there, Andrew. So as a LERO organization, the LERO needs to be flexible. The LERO needs to adjust to the clients that want lots of information, and then to the clients that are completely overwhelmed. The LERO needs to be able to hold both. And a big problem, particularly here in the UK, is the statutory services, the kind of the NHS and the bureaucracy, things like it's very admin intensive, and that could block access for people. So just to give you an example, I'm on anti-seizure medication, and my prescription ran out, and I couldn't get it refilled at a chemist. I had to phone 111, that then arranged an appointment for me to go to A&E, and then I had to wait at A&E for 5.5 hours, take up time in A&E because of the paperwork and the bureaucracy and the process. Does that make sense? And then to have me there clogged up that system there, where there are other people that were way more needy for that. And then it puts strain on the system and blah, 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 blah. Does that make sense? So had their system been a bit more flexible, it would be better for everyone. Yeah. Safeguarding risk assessment. And everyone's, hey, you must go to Africa.
It's actually up in my last job, David. Yeah.
Be flexible as an organization.
Yeah, my last job was the NHS, and all they wanted to do was have a process for everything. So everyone that was doing it was doing a process, but it was just too much for everyone to get at the same time. And that's exactly what happened.
A process about a pro.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thanks for that, Andrew. Back to you, Davide.
Okay. Yeah, health and safety. Like you said, David, Africa. Well, we've learned it from the English. It's all come from England, the health and safety and the risk assessments, etc. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, I suppose it's process upon process. I'm on a one-on-one now, which I find a lot better. I can see Andrew's. I'm sort of how can I say? I can't deal with multiple people at the same time, like 3 or 4 people in a crowd. I'll get very anxious. I'm suffer from anxiety in that sense. But on a one-on-one, I can take the person through the steps, or the client, or the patient, etc., or the student, as David says. But yeah, the paperwork, the admin work can be overwhelming. But yeah, when it comes to that, like with my client, I just find that we've got to just be a lot calm and just go through the process. It's all just formality and yeah, and then obviously
let's talk about your environment as well. Yep, as a contrast to where James, Megan, and Andrew are coming from. Yep. So you're working in the private sector. Yep. You're doing sober companion work and residential living with an individual. So it's high intensity one-on-one working with a multidisciplinary team. Yep. And there the pressure is everyone's got an opinion about what this one individual should be doing. And it's very difficult for the coach to sit there with everyone's opinion coming in. Yeah. And that kind of pressure that way. So in some respect, it is harder because the amount of time that you've got with one person is so much. Whereas if you're dealing with 100 people and you've got 3 minutes a person, it's a very different environment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like, being at it sounds very intimate, Davide, and that can be intense.
Yeah, it is, because I'm dealing with a person every day from the morning, from preparing breakfast, lunch, through the day, taking him to his appointments, his meetings, and then through the day, through conversation and communication, that's where you start picking up things, and then people say, yeah, but you should do this and you should do that, but you can't. I'm living with a person. I know him a lot better than the psychiatrist.
And that's the pressure of the role. Yeah. So let me just draw a picture quickly, if I may. I like pictures. Is that all right for everyone else?
Yep.
Yeah. Is that all right?
Yeah.
It is.
Yep.
Okay. So here's your participant, or the person that you're engaging with. Here you are, Davide, as a sober companion recovery coach. Yeah. So you have a relationship, yeah, that is moving towards a culture of recovery. Yep. So if we were to draw an axis in the middle, the relationship needs to move towards a culture of recovery. Yep. A culture of resilience. Yep. Then you've got all the different professionals. Yep. Family members, stakeholders, everyone else feeding into you about that individual. Yeah. And then they have an opinion, which then gets projected onto you that they think you should be doing. Making sense?
Yes.
So as a case manager now, and this isn't your role, but what a case manager needs to do is a case manager needs to look at the whole system. Yep. And see all the different role players. So you are a recovery coach. Yep. You might have a medical doctor. You might have a psychiatrist. You might have a psychologist. You might have a social worker. You might have the family. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the case manager needs to listen to the voice of each role within the system. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So now you've got to start to think systemically. Yep. And then look at the relationship that the individual, I'm just going to change that into red, that this person is having with all the other various stakeholders. Okay. And what you need to do is to make sure that this part of the system is united in moving towards a culture of recovery. Does that make sense to everyone?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's quite a complex thing for people to get a grip on.
Yeah, it's marrying the two. It's marrying the two
For me,
together.
it's quite simple, and I don't understand how people find it difficult, but people do find it difficult. Like a coach's job is to say, I don't know, what do you think? I don't know, what does your doctor think? I don't know, what does your sponsor say? I don't know, what does your wife think? I don't know, what do your kids feel? Does that make sense? And people are so used to being prescribed to, yep, they forget their own agency. And then they go, oh, well, what must I do? Well, you must take this pill every day at 4 o'clock. Okay. And then they don't take their pills at 4 o'clock. Like one of the biggest problems doctors have is patients following prescriptions. Yep. Like I'm meant to take cholesterol every day. Cholesterol control. Maybe I fucking forget it all the time. And then I'm like 10 o'clock, like it's just a little thing like that can be difficult. Yep. Clients arriving for appointments on time, things like that. That's always chaos, chaos, chaos. Megan, do you want to add something? In fact, Megan, please add something.
Yeah, I think I thought it was really interesting. I think it is, at the end of the day, it's just about having the sort of community member, client, whatever's best interests at heart. And that's what sometimes is the struggle I find with family members and that and things like that. They think that they know best,
Yep.
with their family member or whatever. And I think as well, something I really struggle with is obviously I facilitate groups and things like that, and I have community members coming in asking me, what should I do? And it's like I can't tell you what to do. And I think because I'm lived experience as well, people often say, oh, well, you've done it, like how did you do it? And it's like, what I did worked for me, but I can't like tell you how to do your journey because everyone's is their own. So I do struggle quite a bit with that, really, because I find, because I was the same when I was in very early recovery. I was looking for someone to say, right, this will fix you. Like if you do this, this, and this, you'll be better. And that's just not how it works. But when you're in still slightly in that madness, I think you are just
So
looking
what did
for
you
direction. I worked really hard on myself, and I got counselling, and I did the deep dives into myself that I'd been putting off for years, and sort of worked. I don't know how I really came to that sort of conclusion that no one's going to do it for me. I just kind of had to do it. Like I could get support from like Recovery Connections, things like that, but I had to want it for myself. And I think that was a big thing as well for me.
Great. So that's a perfect example of somebody sharing lived experience. Yep. You know, she didn't go into too much detail. She just said, well, I had to do this, this, and this. I got some counseling support, made use of the resources around recovery. And then I realized I needed to do it for myself. And then do you know what I mean? Just a brief overview of what her lived experience is. Not like, oh, I went to go see this counselor. Her name is Jennifer Lopez, and she lives down the road and above the kebab shop. And what you've got to do is you've got to go there and kind of. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. Jennifer Lopez above a kebab shop.
I thought Jenny was from the block.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So that was great discernment in your lived experience there, Megan. Yep. And also your body language was very authentic.
Oh God. I move my hands too much. I always say in my groups.
Why do you move your hands too much? I completely disagree.
Okay, that's good.
Your body language and the way your I'm going to say your enthusiasm around that built rapport and trust. Yeah, it wasn't like, Yeah, well, I went to counseling. That was great. And then made use of the resources around me. That was fantastic. And yeah, I went to mutual aid. I've had a sponsor. That was brilliant. And do you know what I mean? It was the body language matched your experience.
Yeah.
Correct.
Thanks.
Dorette, how's it for you as a family member?
Um, well, I'm not working in the field like all of you.
Dorette, every day you wake up, you're in the field. You're a mother. Like that is like, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Uh, well, family members in the Netherlands mostly are not important.
Okay. So just feel that statement in the container. Yeah. When Dorette says family members in the Netherlands are not important, I just drop down into sadness. I just think, fuck, yes, they are. And I so resonate with that. The person that's in the culture of addiction gets all the attention, and that person then moves into a culture of recovery, and the family members often feel left behind. They feel discarded. They feel like they're not important. Dorette, I just want to say that's not true, but it is true. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I can really understand.
in my experience, like the treatments with our daughter, we were not really allowed to be part of it. So, but if you look for yourself, like I did, then you find the help. Of course, there is help, but not automatically.
So then there's that split when people are in treatment. Yep. The professionals like to work on the individual themselves. Yep. And the family members are excluded. Now, where there's a big gap is that bridging and reintegration into the family environment and reintegration into the workplace environment. Yep, there's a big gap there. Lots of people can go somewhere for treatment, they do well, and then they go back to the place that drove them to fucking drugs in the first place. Yeah. And it becomes very difficult for the family members who have been impacted by this, but they don't have a space to process their feelings and voices and how they've been impacted. Can I draw another picture?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what happens in my opinion. So here we've got a culture of learning, culture of learning, culture of addiction, culture of recovery. Yep. And we've got the person here that has descended down, and the family members over here have been watching their loved one descend. Yeah. They've been watching their loved one go into the madness, and their loved one has been in a state of denial around this. They don't know that they're doing it. They justify it's not the drugs, it's blah, 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 blah. And the family sit with the experience sober, watching the person descend. Would you agree with me? So the family get post-traumatic stress disorder. Post means after. Trauma is too much, too soon, too quick. Stress is what happens to the body, and disordered is the way that you respond to that stress. Yeah. So the person then moves into a culture of recovery. Yep. Hello, everybody. I'm recovered now. I'm going to meetings. I'm going to making use of mutual aid groups. I'm doing this. I'm working on myself. I've got to do this, this, and this, and blah, blah, blah. And the person is often unconscious about the impact that they have had on the family. Yep. They're either just kind of unaware of it, and then there's the narcissism that goes with the self-centeredness that goes with someone when they're in a culture of addiction. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then they end up getting all the focus as well. Yep. Oh, fuck. I wasn't meant to do that. Am I back to the what? There we go. All right. So let's just take that. Let's just move that across. Okay. So now you've got the relationship. You've got the person in recovery, and then you've got the family member. Yeah. And here's the relationship, right? So the individual will feel guilt and shame when they're in a culture of addiction, and the family member will feel anger. And they'll say, how can you do that? How can you sell the kids PlayStation for money? How can you do all that sort of stuff? And the person in recovery, in addiction, the relationship is centered around one person's got anger and the other person's got guilt and shame. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yep. The person then goes into a culture of recovery. They come out of the guilt and shame. Yep. And then they start to move to a place of healthy anger. They move to anger, which is clear boundaries. I've got to go to meetings. I've got to do this. I'm not going back there to the way that I used to be. Yeah. Now, the trouble is the family members, they get filled with fear. And they get filled with fear about the anger that they've got. And they're so scared to talk about that anger in the relationship because they're scared that the person's going to go back to using. And then you've got all this unprocessed anger in the relationship that the family member needs to take somewhere. And it doesn't get dealt with. It doesn't get spoken about. Does that make sense for everyone?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So let's just take a breath and pause there because I'm getting very excited. And I might be overwhelming with all the information because I get excited and yeah.
I actually saw something really interesting the other day. It was like a pic because I follow loads of like recovery stuff on social media and that, and it was like it was just a phrase that just said drugs and alcohol ruined my life and I never touched them, and it like really hit differently because
Oh wow.
it was like because it was obviously like a family member, and it did like made us like rethink everything because I was like, oh God, like I never actually, it took us ages to sort of think about what my family and that had been through when I was in addiction. So it does just like sort of hit home a little bit. Like,
So when you say it hits home a little bit, tell us a little bit more about that.
I just say I totally agree with everything that you've said there. I think it is very much centered around the person in addiction rather than the people closest to them. And
so you've just become aware, yeah, of your self-centered behavior in addiction and how that has impacted your family.
Yeah.
So what do you feel now that this truth has landed with you?
I feel like I go back to that sort of like guilt a little bit, a sort of
shame.
Yeah.
You're feeling shame.
Yeah.
And the reason you're feeling shame is as Megan, you don't want to be a selfish family member. but you've just kind of come out of that self-centeredness and realized, oh, fuck. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, the recovery part is for yourself is to be able to move out of that shame, not to kind of go and crawl, oh, I'm so sorry, but to kind of go, oh, fuck, you know what? I'm very self-centered in my behavior still. I was still very unaware of how my behaviors impacted my family. Let me go and try and restore that relationship. Yeah. In 12-step facilitation work, they might say, well, go and do a step 9. Yeah, go and do, yeah. In family constellation stuff, there might be another approach. In internal family systems, another, like whatever. But basically, you got to kind of go, fuck, I'm really fucking sorry.
And
Yeah.
that's absolutely what I did. I remember I went to my mum and I was like, no, I think I sat with my sister as well, and I just sort of said, like, I'm genuinely really sorry. Like, I didn't go through my mind what you were going through. It was just all about me. And like, it went really well. Like, they were saying, like, I've totally made up for it now because I'm better. I was unwell, and now I'm better, and I'm giving back to like the community and stuff like that. So that's all they wanted. But no, it did knock us a little bit until I like could sit down with them and like discuss it and things, because and I'm feeling I don't feel as guilty now. Is that when I think about it, it does come back a little bit. But I know that I'm not in that guilt and shame anymore, because I can sort of say, but look at what I'm doing now. I'm not the same person that I was back then, and like I'm not in that same sort of selfish mindset sort of thing.
It's fascinating. So for me, I had so much shame about what I put my kids through, with them being taken away and put in foster care and all that. And I carried that for years. Yep. And then one day I was telling the story and I saw my son, who'd grown up now. He was a young man and he was just looking at me. And I could see that me carrying that shame wasn't serving him anymore. He wants a dad that's kind of proud and, and well. And I suddenly realized how me kind of confessing my shame all the time actually wasn't serving him. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a big wake-up call, because then all of a sudden, oh, fuck, now I'm selfish with my selfishness and my shame. Now I'm going to have to take responsibility and grow up. Fuck, and be a brilliant human being. Fuck. Yes, Andrew, what do you want to say?
It just hits home, doesn't it? Sometimes when you think about it, and like you think you're going to solve a situation by a certain way, and you realise it could actually make it worse. And it's just the whole journey itself. It's just it's a learning curve, isn't it? And you have to just I can relate to so much of it. And you think you have to say sorry and keep having to defend yourself, or try not defend yourself, but trying to say, look, I'm doing better. And it is, like you say, it's just a case of you just start living your life properly and really focusing on making yourself well. The other stuff generally fits into place after that and people follow. But going back to that first diagram you did with the family members, what you mentioned about if you've got a family member that's portraying anger on the person in recovery, and yet their treatment they're getting is to get them away from the guilt and shame, they're working against each other, aren't they? So it's bringing the family members in is vital to kind of get everyone on board together, for them to get support, but also for the person in recovery all together, isn't it? If you exclude them, it's just not going to work.
So what you're trying to do, let's go back to this whiteboard, is you're trying to bring the family member, over into a culture of recovery as well.
Yeah.
And then to get that relationship there, to move towards a culture of resilience and a culture of recovery. Yep. And a coach's job is to try and support that to happen. We are not family counselors. We are not social workers. We are not, but we are supportive in families getting the support that they need to heal that relationship. Yeah. Hey, we're on a roll, huh? James, how are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm just listening to all what you're saying. I mean, at the end of the day, I know, like, while in recovery and things like that, and we're all human, aren't we? So we all make mistakes, and we've got to look at it is how we correct that, and then we'll make amends up for it as well.
Okay. So I just want to say something to Dorette quickly. Yep. Dorette, I really struggle to understand what the fuck James is talking about, and he's speaking English. Yeah, Dorette's from the Netherlands, James. So I just want to, like, I'm just being aware of, like, and I don't want to say it in a way that's kind of embarrassing or anything towards you, but I just also just kind of just want to put that out there. So can you repeat that for me, please? I'm just.
Yeah, as we were talking about our guilt and shame and
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah, yes, we're all human, and we've all done bad things, and obviously addiction's getting a grip of us, and it's happened. It's happened, God knows, for different amount of reasons, why or how. But we're only human. We do make the mistakes. We've got to look at it now as how we correct our mistakes and which way we do it. And also, as we are coaches and that now, we've lived and experienced. We are trying to help people who come into the service. And as Megan was saying before, yes, she could only see how she did it briefly, but you can't tell the person which way to do it for themselves.
Wonderful, James. Thank you so much. And I hope my humor didn't offend you around your accent.
No, I just walk us up.
Okay, great. Okay. And I also had to just kind of be honest and say, like, well, fuck, what the fuck did you just say? Yeah. As opposed to sitting here and kind of pretending I knew what was going on. Do you know? I mean, I think as coaches, we also need to be able to go, like, sorry, can you repeat that? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you've got to
loved
be
what
honest. You've
I
got to be
loved.
honest. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
you got to be honest, huh?
Yeah, you got to be honest. And if you like when you do coaching and you misunderstand something, I think it's better off than to say, could you actually do what you've just said? Can you repeat that so you're getting the exact information what you want to hear?
I think it also builds trust.
Yes.
Right. So we got this picture, yeah?
Mhm.
So let's move along. Yep. So here you are as a coach. Yep. And here's your coachee. And you're having this coaching relationship. Now the coaching relationship needs to move forward. I hope this diagram makes sense to the solution. Yep.
Yeah.
Not to kind of go back into the past. Does that make sense? We're
Yeah.
always trying to forward the action, and deepen the learning. So we're always looking to see how our clients, coachee, human being is progressing. Yeah. So just to give you a live example here, Dorette joined us as a family member, yep, who's been deeply impacted by her daughter, and watching Dorette's recovery happen over, what's this now, 12 weeks, Dorette?
15.
15 weeks. Wow,
Yeah.
15 weeks, yeah. Watching her grow and progress in that process has been it's been a wonderful thing to witness, but it's also something that we need to focus on. Is that person moving forward? And like Dorette's getting on a plane over the weekend, she's flying over here, she's coming for a training for herself to skill herself. She's really working on her own recovery. Is that fair enough to say, Dorette?
Yeah.
Yeah. If Dorette was stuck and was still kind of talking about the same sort of things that we have had in the first session, then something's blocking that person. So as coaches, we need to refer them. And I've seen lots and lots and lots and lots of clients, and only once have I really had to refer someone for I've just really said, listen, there's deep psychiatric depression here. You're very stuck. Please go and seek medical advice for that. And then the person started to take psychiatric medication and then was able to engage again. But that is like 1 out of 1,000 people. And that doesn't mean I haven't worked with people that are on psychiatric meds. But this person was when they came, they didn't have any of that support around them. Making sense to everyone? So the goal there was really to kind of terminate and say, come back when you're able to get out of that slump in a very loving and humane way, I hope. All right, Olivia, how are we doing? How's the class going? Too much information?
No, it's all good. It's really good. It's interesting. I wrote everything down so I can reflect back on it later. I like doing that. It gets me because if I forget something, it's good to kind of have a look back on what we've done. But yeah, it's all good.
So Andrew, what class is this? Is this your second or third class?
Third.
Your third class.
Yeah.
All right. So you're still at the very beginning of the training, trying to understand what the coaching conversation is. So it's a conversation, the continuums, the system, the 4Q model, and then creating the container. So Dorette and Olivia are around 15, 6, so they're getting a good understanding of the system and the dynamics around it. Davide will be so when I'm focusing on the system, it's that part of the training. Yep. I think you're really getting it, but if it feels a bit much, then just relax it into it. But I think you've got a lot of experience already in this environment, huh?
Yeah, there's still a lot more to learn, but yeah, I've got a background. I kind of can relate to a lot of it. But yeah, still learning all the time.
Okay. All right. So let's whip around the container quickly. What's one takeaway so far this morning? God, I'm so hyper. Let's whip around the container. What's one learning? Like, slow down, David. Fast. Who wants to go first, Megan?
Okay, well, I think the takeaway I like that we've sort of spoken a bit about the other people that are sort of like involved in sort of around someone's recovery and things like that, and how they sort of have to, everyone has to sort of like work in unison, don't they? Sort of do what's best for the client, community member, whatever. And I think I liked when we sort of talked about the family members, about how they hold on, like they have that anger, then they have the fear. Because I know from personal experience, my mum's said to me when I was in recovery, she was so scared early on that she'd say the wrong thing and that I'd end up relapsing and things like that. So that really did sort of like, that really like resonated with us when we were talking about that.
So how would you coach a mother in that situation?
In what sort of situation, like this will hold that anger, and what do you mean?
Yeah. So and if I'm offsides, tell me. But say you were coaching someone like your mother, And then they said, what I want coaching on today is I've got so much anger inside of me, but I'm too scared to tell my daughter because I'm scared they're going to relapse. But I'm so pissed off. I feel like I've been emotionally hijacked by her. And I don't know what to do with the anger.
I mean, I wouldn't want to advise, but I think anger is a very dangerous emotion if it's not, if it doesn't have an outlet. I do think it's important to talk about resentment. I wish my mum had sat down with me a lot and spoken to me about what was bothering her, because instead she let it eat her up inside for so long. And so I would, like I say, I don't want to advise, but I think it is very important on everyone's recovery journey to be able to have that safe space, like you say, like a container maybe, of sort of to sit down and say, this is what I'm feeling, and like, and that's, and just to get it out there and sort of thing. I think that's what yeah.
So something like, well, we're in a safe place now. Just what does your anger want to say? So you create a space for the person to talk their anger out. Yeah. So you like anger's a good emotion when it's used in well, and it's a bad emotion when it's used badly, but it's just an emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as well, personally, I'd probably I have spoken to family members before. I do tend to signpost them to things like Al-Anon, just because I know obviously people like the community members, clients, whatever, they have sort of our groups like Recovery Connections and AA, all that, where they can go and be in a room with people that understand what they're going through. Family members often don't have that, whereas Al-Anon, I think, is like a place where it's specifically for family and friends of people in active addiction, and it's I think that's a really good place to be able to go and get some of that, sort of get that out and say what they're feeling and things like that.
Okay, so a strategy might be something like, okay, well, tell me your anger, and you know what? There's also mutual aid groups that you can go to. But like, what are you pissed off about? Tell me. I think that's like I'll always say, the problem isn't with the person telling the story. Often the problem is the person's inability to listen to the story. And I think it's really okay as a coach to just listen to someone's anger. So just tell me why you're pissed off. There's often a relief in that. Yeah. And then when the anger comes out, then they can kind of look at it, and then you can kind of, yeah. And it is very therapeutic, but it's not therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, does that make sense? So I do leadership coaching with executives in organization. Yeah. And often talking to them where they're able to voice their frustration makes it easier for them then to make decisions, because they've had the space to discharge that emotion. But a lot of leaders feel tongue-tied because of political correctness. Yeah.
David, I had a situation. Sorry. My daughters, you know, the both of them are going to counselling now, but they hid it from me at the start. They were afraid to tell me because they're afraid I was going to get upset. And I was like, like eventually, like it came out and I found out about it. And I just try to kind of just say to them, if that's what you need to do, then you go and do that. It doesn't, but because I think they're afraid to upset me. At the moment, they're still a bit fragile. So I have to respect that. If that's what they want to do, then go ahead and do it. Get all the help you need. So yeah, that's where I am on that one.
Wonderful, wonderful. So something like, oh fuck, that's great, you're getting counseling. You need it. I was fucking terrible. I'm so pleased that you're getting some sort of help. That makes me feel better, and that's good for my recovery. And I understand you not wanting to tell me about it, but like, fuck, I fucked up.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. It was just the fact they were like so nervous telling me, and I'm like,
And there's so
Yeah.
many family members that are like that. They have their shame, their stigma, their fear, and there are lots of resources out there, but people just don't know how to access them or feel overwhelmed getting them, or what are people going to think? What's mum going to think? So they get hijacked by, I'm going to say, the illness, by
Yeah.
the culture of addiction, by the culture of adversity.
Yeah. And the one thing I've learned is like, don't ask them about what happened at the counselling, because that's their journey to keep to themselves. I don't need to know about it.
So you don't go there and kind of say, well, what did you talk about in counselling today? Huh?
The old Olivia would have gone in there like that, but I take a step back now.
Yeah. I use humor a lot. I hope it's helpful. I really hope it's helpful, because it's a very complex system that's filled with landmines. All right, so we were whipping around the room. Where did we just start with Megan? Was that, and then, yeah, okay. Who's next? James, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I was just thinking about when you were doing them drawings, and I just didn't realize actually when we actually coaching a certain person that we don't realize that they actually could be seeing other people, like you said, other medical people or counselors and things like that. And like sometimes if you don't like sometimes when you listen to them and they've got other things what they're getting bombarded with because they're going to different places, it can get overwhelming. And to be honest, I actually didn't realize that until the day till you started doing that diagram.
Wonderful. What a great realization. And thank you for saying that.
To be honest, I never actually thought of it that way. I thought, well, the person's listening to me and I'm talking and advising and things like that. But I didn't make it in their life, when they leave, they could be going to counselling, they could be going to see the doctor, medical, or any other thing. And I just thought to myself, wow. So maybe that person could be overwhelmed, getting too much information from different people, different kind, like other people. So it was quite good that diagram. I like that one you draw there.
Good. And when you're coaching, you step away from advising, huh?
Sorry?
When you're a coach, when you're in the role of a coach, we don't advise. We can share bits of our lived experience.
You
Yeah.
can share and give information, but not advise them because that's entirely up to them what they decide. It's it's what they decide and which way they want to do it.
People will often come to me and want to talk to me about their marriage. And then I'll go, fuck it out. Don't talk to me about this. I got 3 ex-wives. I'm the last person to talk to about this. And then they open up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Davide, you want to come in? What do you learn today?
Yeah, anger. Like you say, I think anger, it's good anger, but there's a healthy anger. It's releasing, it's expressing yourself. Sometimes because a person gets maybe a bit too emotional and excited, it seems like the person is angry, but they're just overwhelmed to just want to get out everything. Also, I also find that sometimes we must try and avoid being stuck in a space of self-pity, because that also just keeps us back. We don't want to move on. So with our recovery, we got to move on. We got to show people we've healed.
Just change your language to I.
Hi.
Yeah. So sometimes I find that I don't want to get stuck in self-pity.
Yeah,
I need to be able to move on, and
I need to be able to move on. Exactly. I myself have sat in a space of being in that environment of self-pity. Yeah, but this, but me, but me, but me. But yeah. And then eventually when I want to express myself, people think I'm angry, I'm fighting, but it's actually not. It's just being overwhelmed. So yeah, that's where I'm coming into all of this.
I relate a lot to that, and I often feel misunderstood when I get overwhelmed.
Mm.
Like fuck it, I get it, and I'm just passionate and frustrated
Yeah,
about things, and then I feel misunderstood, and then I feel lonely, and then I feel nobody gets me, and then I find myself in a fucking pot of self-pity, and you can all fuck off.
exactly.
Yeah, that's my. I
No,
was
you put it.
talking for myself there.
Yeah, no, but you've put it in a nutshell exactly the way I feel. At
Oh,
times, yeah.
you
Exactly in a
resonate with
nutshell.
that. Oh, okay.
You put it in a better context.
Okay. All right. Dorette?
I think we're working in a field with a lot of landmines. It's very fragile. And I think letting the people in front of you talk is one of the most important things. And I must say, from my own experience, that anger is not the right word to use. I have personally mostly felt sad. Sad for the person in front of me throwing away her life. I've not felt angry.
Okay, we'll come back to that after the break. Andrew?
Yeah, the thing that hit me was when Duet mentioned about not having the support as an affected other, or not being that, and it kind of hit home. And when I talk to people, I kind of just focus on them, and I'm thinking giving that option about the affected others around them a bit more, making it more aware for the person in recovery to make it aware to the people supporting them as well. It's definitely something I should do more in my role. But yeah, other thing as well I've learned is what a great artist you are as well, David. Really good drawings.
Cheeky shit. Olivia?
Yeah, I did want to ask a question. When we start coaching and we meet the person for the first time, is it okay to ask them what other services they're using?
What's the answer to that question, Olivia?
Yes.
I support your answer. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I would say, as long as it's not too overwhelming for the individual, but just to get a full picture of what's happening.
Okay.
And I was thinking about it the other day, like, because when you've been divorced 3 times, you kind of got to look at yourself and see like what's happening. And in my last relationship, we'd go and get help for the relationship. Yep. And then what would happen is when the relationship didn't go her way, the therapist or person was helping was useless, and then we go to somebody else. Yeah. And then we go to somebody else and somebody else until we could find someone where the therapist agreed with her. Yeah. And then that left me feeling like this isn't helpful. We're actually in the relationship between me and her. I obviously wasn't hearing something that she wanted. Yep. And I wasn't able to give it up. So then there was a power struggle between the two of us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. And yep. Okay, I'm not going to go into that. Almost fell into that trap. Let's take a can we take a 7-minute break? Come back at 10 past?
Hmm.
Yeah.
If you vape, you can come back at 11 minutes past. So you're not a vapor, James?
Sorry?
Are you not a vapor?
Actually, I'm trying to quit, so I've just made a coffee and come back.
Oh, good. Okay, great. Great.
Just catching up on the messages of.
No problem. No problem.
I actually still smoke, but I've started the vapes, so I'm like cutting down, and then hopefully to try and quit altogether.
Okay. And whereabouts are you working? Which area?
I'm in Washington, in Sunderland.
Washington. Okay.
Yeah. Same as Megan.
Pardon?
Same as Megan as well. We work at the same place.
Oh, you're both in Washington.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do Washington, Sunderland, and Hortley Spring.
Okay. And what are your roles?
I'm a community coach.
Community coach.
Yeah.
And Megan, what's your role?
I'm a community coach as well.
Great. Okay. Cool. All right. Who would like to build the container? Dorette, why don't you build the container?
Okay. I'm a little bit distracted. I had a sad message, so I'm a little bit distracted, but I'll be okay. So sometimes I might miss what you are all saying, but I try to follow it. And I tag David.
Yeah, interesting first half. Yeah, I think managing emotions, especially our own towards our coachee, is quite important. That's what I've learned in the first section. And yeah, we got to be very tactful the way we approach. Olivia.
Right. Yeah, I found this morning really good actually. I've really enjoyed that hour. Yes, it's all good on my side. I will tag Andrew.
Thanks, Olivia. Yeah, I'm good. I'm pleased to be back after missing a couple of weeks, and yeah, enjoying it. Took a lot from that first half, and I will tag James.
Yeah, it's been an interesting hour doing that, and I've picked up on a few things what I didn't realise. But yeah, back with David.
Is that everyone checked in?
Megan.
Oh,
I haven't.
Yeah. I thought go for it, Megan.
No, I'm checking in good. I had a bit of anxiety this morning. I don't know what it is. I think it's online meetings always give me a bit of anxiety, but I'm feeling much better now. I really enjoyed the first half. Thought we talked about some good stuff. So yeah, feeling good now. Back to you, David.
Great. All right, Dorette, are you okay to hold the container still?
Hold the container.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so just ask the container, what would we like to talk about now? What's the agenda?
Well, I must say, last week Olivia told us that she used the Wheel of Life, and I'm very interested in her experience about that. How she used it.
Wonderful topic.
I need to go and get it. It's in the other room. So I can't really explain it without seeing it.
Okay.
Do you want me to grab it? Someone else in?
I find it interesting. I don't know if anyone else finds it interesting. If you
Yeah,
don't mind.
I'll be happy to hear.
Yeah, I wasn't in last week's session, so I'm quite intrigued as to what this is.
Yeah.
So the wheel of wife is what the wife wants. So you make her. I'm joking.
What your client wants.
Yeah.
I looked at it and I think, well, how would you present it to your client? That's interesting.
I think the wheel that you mentioned, David, I need a copy of that because I never seem to be on it. I don't know where to go on it.
You need a copy of what? Oh,
Copy of the wheel that you
wheel
mentioned
of
about
life.
because I never seem to be on that wheel as far as my wife's concerned.
So while we're waiting, how important do you think gender groups are? Groups that are for men or groups that are for women only?
I think they do have a purpose, like, or else there wouldn't be groups of just men and women. I do think there are certain topics that, and just certain individuals as well, that feel more comfortable talking about certain things with like same-sex people. So I do think, although I do think it is important to have like groups with like both in, I do think that there is a point to them, or else that they wouldn't have them, you know.
Yeah.
It depends on the agenda.
Okay, Olivia, over to you.
Right, this is the wheel of life that I done. Can everyone see it?
Okay, so it's spirituality, career, jobs, addiction, friends, family, health. Read the quadrants to us.
Spirituality, friends and family, health, physical and mental, personal growth, fun activities, addiction, and career and jobs. So what I've done is kind of put them on around the edges, and then put the wheel of life. And in the middle bits, you ask the clients like where do they feel the spirituality is at the moment, and if they say 2 or 10, if they say like 2, then you ask the question, how can you get higher up on that scale? Does that make sense? Yeah, so then you like what can they do to kind of, in the jobs, if they feel like it's number 2 or number 3, it's like trying to just say, what can you do in your life that can push that kind of scale upwards? Does that make sense? Have I done that right, David?
Of course you've done that right.
Yeah.
What's
It's just asking the questions, making them think about their life really, and how they feel about their lives now. Some people in the group was kind of further on in the journey, so it was good for them to kind of go back and explain that kind of how they felt when they started to how they feel now. And then the other people were kind of going, well, I'm still like new, and I'm still probably about 2. Like the people that in addiction, they were saying they feel better in themselves now. Their addiction is kind of getting higher levels because they don't have like, when they're addicted it was 2, in their addiction now it's like about 9 or 10. Well, nobody's a 10 because obviously that's too much. But yeah, and then fun activities, you kind of go, just said 2, then like you can ask them how they feel about like what do they enjoy in their lives, like what's something that they used to do that gave them enjoyment, and how can they kind of do these things again. I think that's what. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
I can show you again on on Sunday evening. Anyways, Dorette, you're staying.
Yeah, thank you. It looks like a good guidance for a conversation.
Okay, so let's draw a circle here. For fuck's sakes. All right. So here's a wheel of life. So let's have some topics. What have you got there?
Friends and family,
Friends and family,
health, mental health, and physical health.
health. At least we haven't got one called handwriting. Okay.
Personal growth,
Personal growth,
fun and activities,
fun and activities,
the environment, people, places, and things,
environment. Yep.
their addiction,
Yep.
their jobs,
Job.
and then spirituality.
Great. Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, let's go with you with you, Olivia. Where are you? So if this is 10, yep, and this is 0, where are you with friends and family?
Probably about 7.
Okay, this
Yeah.
puts you here. All right. Where are you with health?
At the moment, probably about 7 as well, because I've got cirrhosis. So,
Okay. P and G?
yeah, I'm growing every day. I am probably about 8 or 9, because
Okay, so that was personal growth, yeah?
yeah,
Okay, what was that? The next one? Family and
friend.
friend? Yeah?
Was that? No.
No, what was
Fun,
it?
fun activities.
Fun and activities, yeah?
Yeah, I'm doing good on that. I go for walks every day, so probably about 8ish.
Okay, environment?
Maybe I could be more kind of active within my family with funds, because they go walking a lot, and I'm still feel like they're judging me, and they're still kind of holding some resentments. So I'd say about 7, 6, 7.
As well,
Sometimes I
okay.
feel like a bit kind of left out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, job?
I haven't got one, but I am going for interviews. I've got 2 interviews next week, so probably about 6, I'd say.
6, okay. Spirituality?
I do mindfulness every day. Yeah, it's part of my program that I do every day.
Okay, and that is?
I do my prayers. I ask for guidance. I do some meditation.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, sorry. Probably about 8, I'd say. Yeah.
8, okay. And then friends and family? Did we start with friends and family?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
You've missed out the addiction.
Oh, I missed out the
Oh,
addiction. Yeah,
yeah.
shit. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm good at my addiction. I would say give that about a 9. Yeah, I don't have any
Okay.
kind of.
So there's the addiction, right? Okay. So if we were to then join this up into a circle, yeah, you've almost got quite a smooth wheel.
Yeah.
Yep. How are you on finances?
I'm getting on top of them, because after my addiction, obviously everything kind of slacked. But I've got things in progress that I'm kind of paying things off. So it's not the way I want it to be, but I'm getting there.
Okay, can we say a 3?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay, good. Just for the purpose of the
Yeah.
diagram. So let's put that down at a 3. Why is it not drawing now? My bloody thing stopped working. Oh gosh, the whole thing's crashed. So everything was kind of 7, 8, 7, 9, 8, and then if you got a 3 there, and then you draw it back, there's something that you could coach on that could move Olivia from a 3 to a 7, which would be a lot more balanced. Now, often what happens is when you go to therapy or something, you focus on the 3 always, on the problem. But sometimes you could go in and have a session with someone and speak about one of the other topics, which isn't kind of addiction focused, yeah, that would bring more life to the situation. Okay, my whiteboard's crashed. I can't even close it now. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what happened there. So the Wheel of Life is a great tool. Yeah, and some people you can start it off as part of contracting. So, hi, I'm a recovery coach. Let's have a look at your life. How's your health and fitness? Blah, blah, blah. And you can get an idea of that. And then you can coach them to improve those areas. So, it's a wonderful tool also to stop the person talking about the problem, to focus on solutions and start to move towards. And Olivia, I would say that people can get to a 10. And
Yeah.
that when your life is 10 in all areas, you still continue coaching to maintain that.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
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 That gets very American. My goddamn life's awesome, man. I'm gonna keep it awesome. Go roll, roll.
You always have to.
Hey,
So do you always have to put like a little kind of
a little dig.
a little funny bit in?
Yeah, no, I do. Sorry, I hope that wasn't offensive. But whoops, sorry about that.
But that worked well with my smart recovery group because it's kind of a bit more. It's a bit kind of a smart kind of thing to do.
Yeah, it is a great
Yeah.
cognitive. It's a great cognitive space to kind of focus on the solutions, and a lot of people like that. A
Yeah.
lot of people are kind of, no, yeah, I fucked up. I want to move on from this now. Let me go and fix and work the other areas of my life. Yeah, no, it's a great tool, and you can split it up into all areas. You know, I mean, sponsors could use it like, so how are you doing with meeting attendance? How are you doing with step work? How are you doing with service? How are you doing with prayer and meditation? How are you doing in, I don't know, 13 stepping? I don't know.
Mm.
That was an inappropriate joke, people. Sorry. Yeah. But yeah, but you can use it in management. Yeah, but how are you doing with your admin? How are you doing with delegating? How are you doing with communicating the company strategy? How are you doing in remuneration, with sales, with whatever? So it is a great tool.
Mm.
Okay, back to you, Dorette.
Thanks for explaining, Olivia. It makes it feel like a good something to hold on than just talk. I don't know if anyone else have used it already.
I've used, I know, in some of the groups that we do, we use that exact model. I didn't know that's what it was called, so thanks for that, because now I actually have the name of it. But I think it's absolutely amazing. Like, as well, not just to use it once, but we sometimes get people coming back to groups a few times, sort of repeating the course, and then they get to redo it like 3 months later, and to see the sort of like the look on their face when they look where they were 3 months ago compared to where they are like today it's just really rewarding, because yeah, I find it's really good, even for myself as well. I like to do it for myself every now and again. So yeah, it's a really, really, really useful tool, I think, definitely.
I know, Megan needs to keep on top of it as well, isn't it? Like, so you like maintaining it as well, as David was saying.
I think it's good for people to see that they grow. It's very important. So yeah, I like it. I like the Wheel of Life. I'm going to make one for my own. Okay. Does someone else want to share something about coaching?
About the Wheel of Life thing, I guess just following on from that, I think also with the scales as well, what might be a 10 at someone at a certain stage could change later on in recovery as well. You might reanalyze it. So I know for me, like a 9 or a 10, the early stage of recovery would have been but maybe a 6 or 7 for certain aspects now, because you move on in certain aspects of your life, and it's really good to reflect, because recovery can seem like a long process as well when you're going through it and thinking that you're not really getting anywhere. And when you look back to where you were at the start when you're doing that Wheel of Life, it must be quite nice to sort of see how much you have improved over relatively a short amount of time, and to reinforce that in people, I think it's quite important in recovery.
Yeah. Good. Well, not for me to hold a container. I find it a bit a bit scary. What topic shall we?
Can we talk about case management? Not case management, care plans.
And what do you mean by that?
It's like when a client comes in, you make a care plan for them. And I just wanted to kind of, has anybody else done it? Because I'm kind of, that's one of the questions I'll probably get asked at my interview. Do I know how to do care plans? So has anybody got any insight on that for me?
I haven't done care plan. I mean, years ago I used to be a carer and we used to do care plans there, but in my role at the minute we don't tend to do care plans. So I don't really know if I can be of much help with that. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
I might,
the same as Megan.
I might be wrong, but for me, my understanding of it is coming up with something to notice with the person you're coaching. Is there things we need to look out for to make sure that you're doing well? Is there any signs that you can bring up without you actually having to say it? If someone turns up looking not themselves for any reason, going through that with them when they're in a clear head to be able to talk about it. That's the basic I've got of it. I haven't done myself personally, but that's my knowledge of it.
Okay.
David might have a bit more of a idea.
Yeah, I went through all the work that David has supplied and I can't see it on there.
So Dorette, great authenticity there, holding the space. When you said, "Oh, I'm holding this space, I'm feeling nervous," and then you asked, "What should we talk about?" Then you got the agenda, which was care plan, and straight away you put the question to the container, asking the container for the answer. So that's great coaching. You didn't once think, "Oh my gosh, I got to answer what a care plan I have." So you really let the container go. Then Megan shared a bit of her experience. Andrew shared a bit of his experience. And the thing with coaching, to always think that the container has the answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to allow the answer to merge. Yeah. So, Olivia, what does care mean for you? The word care.
Looking after somebody,
Okay.
or is it like caring for somebody? There's
And
two.
what does the word plan look for mean to you?
It's like organizing something. No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, in your role, what would the organization want from a care plan?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm asking you the question. So just think about it. What would the organization want from a care plan?
Would safeguarding come into it?
Yeah, come in, James.
I'm saying, would the safeguarding not come into it as well? Because obviously
Safeguarding. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say that. Like, so how are you going to care for somebody? What's the plan for keeping somebody safe? Yeah.
Isn't a care plan sort of like a bit of a sort of
History.
guide sort of thing before you meet someone? It sort of gives a bit of information about them. Could be a total different type of care plan, because I'm thinking of back when I was in my caring days. It sort of gave us, when we were going into a new house, we'd read through the care plan because it would give us a bit of who the person is, sort of thing, and a bit of information about them.
Okay, so you capture personal information. Yep. So Auntie Dorothy is 75 years old and she likes to go for a purple rinse on a Friday afternoon at the hairdresser. That's part of her self-care, get up and the physical care. What else?
I think I don't know about a care plan, but it sounds like you are putting on paper what you are going to do the next weeks, months for the
Yeah.
client. Where do you want to
So
go
there's
to?
some documentation around what the plan is going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would we ask what their drug of choice would be? Would that be included?
So what's the answer to that question?
Yes.
Okay. In what context? When would you ask somebody what they're taking?
When I first meet them,
Yeah.
what brought you to here, like, and how would you like us to help you?
Yep, and it'll most probably be in some sort of harm reduction context. Yeah.
Yeah,
So if you're coming off alcohol, there needs to be a care plan around that,
yeah,
because there might be a medical detox that's needed or something. If somebody's going into a safe consumption room or needle exchange or something like that, there needs to be a care plan around that. So I would personally, I would get that sort of information around what care looks like if somebody wants to just come and talk to you about reducing their using. Yeah. And if somebody comes to you and says, okay, now I want to get off drugs completely,
so you do know.
what's the care plan to detox them? Okay, so the care plan would say, okay, who's the doctor that's going to handle this? What's their name and address? Who do we contact if there's a problem here? Safeguarding, what's the risk? Yeah. And sometimes people are so desperate, it's like, fuck, well, I haven't got a plan. I just want to stop feeling shit right now.
It's like we kind of make a plan together, me and the client, and so we kind of do it. I just like I kind of
I would
feed
support
off
that.
him. Yeah,
I would
feed
support
them.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ask them what they want to happen, and then kind of work around them. Sort of bringing it about me, bring it about them, kind of thing.
What job are you going for?
A recovery worker in a prison.
Great. Okay. All right. So what's a care plan in a prison?
I'm not too sure yet. I've been Googling a lot.
Okay.
It's just basically saying like all the person's name, details, da 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 da, and then the confidentiality. How do I keep myself safe? What steps can I do to help the person? What if something comes up and I'm in danger, or how to kind of deal with all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so this is now a self-care plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go in there and ask things like, okay, what's your name? What's your history? Tell me about your family. What's your drug of choice? How did you end up in prison? All that sort of stuff. That might activate or trigger stuff for that person. Yep. And might put you in danger because it's like, fuck, I don't want to talk about this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a personal self-care plan. That's important.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and the cultural differences that needs to be explored as well, I think.
Okay. What kind of prison is this? Male, female, mixed?
Male.
Male. Okay. All right. Okay. So you're going in there as a recovery worker, working in a male prison?
Like with people from 18 to probably about 24, I'd say. Kind of the
Young males.
young, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So how are you going to look after yourself?
Just follow my daily routine as I do at the moment. Check in with myself and check in if I've got any problems or I'm sure about something, then to ask for help.
Okay.
You know,
And how old are your children?
21 and 28 and
Okay.
eight.
Male, female?
One little boy and two older girls.
Two older girls. Okay. So adult male boys might trigger some of your mothering stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how are you going to keep yourself safe there? I would say supervision, asking for help, looking for guidance. When last did you work?
Probably about 5 years ago. I was
Okay,
in
so
childcare then.
okay, so there's been a gap there, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you were in childcare,
Yeah.
and your kids are in care now.
No. My girls are like they have their partners live with their boyfriends. And my son's with his dad. He's not in care home. He's with his dad, but I have him weekends now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
The
you're
reason why I've started applying for jobs is because that bit is sorted now.
great, wonderful.
I didn't want to kind of look for a job whilst this was going on, like in the background with my son. As soon as that was cleared up, now I can focus on like getting a job.
Wonderful.
So,
Olivia, you're doing great.
oh, thank you.
No, I suddenly feel all tearful and proud.
Are you trying to father me?
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not trying to father you. But the parent in me is identifying with you.
Mm.
Yeah. And the single parent in me is identifying. Yep.
Mm.
And having a kid being looked after by my partner, yeah, I identify with. And my pride is just in recognition of how fucking difficult this is at times for people. Yeah. And so yeah, but I'm not if anything, I would be like a brother that's kind of proud of his sister. Yeah. But I'm not that fucking old. You're not my daughter. Don't get to be cheeky little cow. Bloody hell. My daughter's 35 and I've got a 31-year-old and a 28-year-old and an 18-year-old, 19-year-old.
Sorry.
It's fine. I'm not triggered. Oh, I need to activate my care plan now. I need supervision.
Oh dear.
That
Yeah,
is me,
at
Dave.
the moment, life is good. Everything. I'm where I'm supposed to be in my life right now. That's
Good.
you know. So, yeah, the world's my oyster now. I can kind of focus on helping others.
Great. All right. Well, let's start the checkout if that's all right. I want to finish at 10:02 today. Yep. Let's start with Megan so she can carry on with her holiday. Megan, thank you for coming in on your holiday time. It's great having you here.
Oh, you're very welcome. I've enjoyed it. It's I only started my holiday this morning, so I've not quite gone into full on holiday mode yet. But no,
What's
sorry.
your takeaway for today?
I think my takeaway is a bit about what we were talking about earlier. I think it is mainly about like working with other what's the word? If a community member's working with other agencies and things like that, and about how easily it is to overwhelm very early on. I think I've had to sort of like check myself a few times because I'm lived experience. I'm like, this works. Like, you can do this. This works. If you do it, I know it does because I've done it. And sometimes I've had to be like, right, rein it in a little bit. Like, don't scare people off. So, and that's sort of given us sort of added to it by thinking actually, if they are going to psychologists, doctors, all these other places as well, that is going to get too much for them. So it's about sort of reading the room a bit more and easing people into it. I think that's sort of my takeaway from today.
Right.
Should I pass someone? I'll pass to Olivia.
Yeah, I think it's been a really good 2 hours today. I've learned a lot. Yeah, so I'll just have to do more studying on that. And I'll see you all on Monday. Yeah, Monday. Dorette, I'll tag you in.
I'm so looking forward to seeing you on Monday, Olivia. It's great. And you, Dorette.
Yes, thank you, thank you. I'm also looking forward to my little holiday, work holiday to London. And
This is nearly finished.
I
Go on.
had a good session today. A little bit distracted, but you made it interesting enough to get focused. And well, see you Sunday, Olivia. David Monday, and I don't know anyone else. And I tag James.
Can you unmute, James? I just had to mute you because there you go. Well done.
All right. No, it's because one of the workers has been looking for us in the office, and I'm in the next room.
It's all right.
Sorry
it's all
about
right,
that.
it's all right.
Yeah.
Relax.
I was going to say what Megan said, but she beat us to it. But yeah, it's been a really good group, and I'm glad I came back. I know I've missed a couple of weeks because of certain things I've had to do, but yeah, and even that circle, the wheel of life and all, that's actually brought back memories, and I remembered that when I first had done when I started doing groups, and I was coming in when I was in coming off my alcohol addiction. So it was nice bringing that back up today. And thanks for having us, Dave.
It was great seeing you, James. Who are you tagging?
So Megan's been on, Olivia's been on. I can't see anybody else on the list.
Okay, go for Andrew.
Andrew, sorry, it's just that I've got everybody
Good
else.
choice. It's great. Good choice.
Yeah, so yeah, no, I really enjoy being back. And like I said earlier, the consideration of affected others is a big point for me today. Yes, it's been really interesting. I'm looking forward to next week, and good luck with your interview next week, Olivia. And enjoy your time with Megan. And I'll tag David.
Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, Wheel of Life. I think I've learned a lot regarding that. It's a good guide. And yeah, a very important thing I've also picked up and hit home is rather support than advise. That's also a big thing, advising all the time. But yeah, otherwise learned a lot. Thank you so much. And looking forward to next week. David?
Cool. Is that everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you. I will look forward to seeing you all next week. And for those that I'm seeing on Monday, fantastic. Is anyone else coming? Andrew, James, Megan?
I don't think on next Monday. It'll probably be the Thursday for me.
Yep. Okay, great. All right. So those of you that were coming on a Tuesday, there's no classes Tuesday online.
Is there one this afternoon you mentioned earlier?
No, there isn't.
Not one this afternoon either. Okay.
Are you coming this afternoon?
Yes, I was going to.
Okay, well, come and we'll see who's arrived, and then you guys can facilitate something amongst yourselves.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool. See you at 2 o'clock then, yeah?
Yeah. Cheers, David. Yeah.
All right, mate.
Cheers.